Today we're doing a Pilates class that is focusing on the legs and the glutes. Optionally, you can use a set of ankle weights. Mine are about 2 pounds. I'm really going to feel it in today's class. And then we're going to get started down on the mat in the sideline position. So I'm starting on my left-hand side, and I'm going to extend my right leg long, bend in the bottom leg, rest your head on your arm. Make sure your body is all in one line. And then you're going to press that top hip away, draw the core away from the mat so that there's a gap between your waist and the mat. Okay, perfect. I want you to make sure your hips are stacked, they're not rolling back or forward. It's completely square, and then you're going to elevate that top leg. And we're just going to start with some pointing and flexing. So point the toes and then flex. We're getting into that ankle mobility, and this actually, it really helps with hip mobility as well. So we're just going to do a few here, just starting to wake up the glutes. And then I want you to point your toes, lower down, tap the floor, exhale, lift. Now as you lift, you are still drawing that core in and up. So when you lift that leg, you're not lowering down, letting go. Okay, perfect. On your next one, you're going to tap the ground and you're going to spiral your femur inside your hip joint, making sure that the knee is facing the ceiling. And then as you come down, you're going to spiral the other way into internal rotation, knee facing the floor. And we're just going to mobilize the femur inside the hip joint, lifting and lowering. That little rotation is so good for hip mobility. If you can hear any rattling or cracking, it's the wind on the roof. It's a very windy day. So we're just going to do another one like this, spiraling the femur inside the hip joint, lifting, and then lowering back down, knee facing the floor. And then you're going to face that knee forward. You're going to bend it in, extend it out. So it's in line with your hip as you extend it out. I want you to inhale as you bend it in, exhale as you extend it out. Can you feel your glutes switch on? Mine are starting to burn. Lift that core away from the floor. Okay, on your next one, you're going to bend it in, kick it out, bend it, and extend it back. Now I want you to come into some hip extension here. So you're really trying to use that glute max. Bend it in, extend. Perfect, stay with me. Can you feel your glutes? Glutes are on fire. We're strengthening the glutes. We're working into hip mobility. Okay, let's do another 3. Kick it forward, take it back into hip extension. Really focus on that hip extension to get that glute max. Okay, take it back. You're going to flex, take that foot forward, point, take it back into hip extension, working on that glute max. Inhale forward, exhale, slide it back. Working on the ankle mobility as well. Okay, and as you take that foot forward, you'll notice that it works your core more. So taking that leg a distance away from the body really works on the core. Okay, perfect. One more. Take it back, bend it in, tap out that hip. Let's go straight into the other side. And you might notice now, while you're doing the other side, that it maybe burns a bit quicker. That's because we were using that glute to stabilize. So lower down onto your mat. Make sure that you are aligned to the back edge of the mat. Bend the bottom leg, extend the top leg, push that top hip away. Hips are square, core is drawing away from the mat. Okay, we're going to lift that leg, point, flex. Starting with that ankle mobility, getting into the hip mobility. Strengthening the glutes. So good for our body to have stable glutes, stabilizing the pelvis. Okay, you're going to tap lower, exhale, lift. So now the knees pointing forward, and we are lifting up from the core. So we're not sinking in as we lower, as we lift that leg. Okay, on your next one, you're going to lift, spiral the femur inside the hip joint, lifting that leg to the ceiling, that knee to the ceiling, and then spiral it the other way, knee comes down to the floor. So just mobilize here. You can rest your hand on the mat and just try and focus on that rotation. You might not get a lot, and that's okay. It also depends on your mobility, your hip mobility. Knee facing down, knee facing up. Okay, taking it down, lifting it to about hip height, and then you're going to bend it in, extend it out. Exhale as you extend that leg long, draw that core in and up, core switched on. Okay, working into the glutes, the glute med, the glute min, the glute max. So this is a full rounded exercise. Okay. On your next one, you're going to bend it in, kick it forward, extend it back into hip extension. Squeeze that glute behind you. Now try and keep your pelvis as stable as possible, as still as possible. So you're not wobbling, you're trying to keep that good form, trying to work on good alignment. Okay, last two. Last one. Take it back into hip extension, flex, take it forward, point, take it back. This is our side kick. Exhale, sweep it back. Flex forward, exhale back. Okay, getting into that glute max. Stay with me. Glutes are on fire. Last one. Take it back, take it down, tap it out. Okay, come down onto your back now. I'm going to get into some glute bridges. So bring your feet about hip distance apart. Your heels are in towards your glutes. And then you're going to just lift up with a flat back to a glute bridge. Your gaze is straight towards the ceiling. Inhale or exhale, lift and squeeze the glutes. Now you're maintaining a slight tuck under the pelvis, so you're not lifting up and arching in the back. You're keeping a neutral spine the whole time. The hips are square. Okay. If you want to place your hands on your hips, you can do that. Wow, my glutes are burning. And this is just even a quick class. It's amazing how you can do so much in so little time. Okay, you're going to hold your glutes up, hold your hips up. Now place your hands on your hips. I want you to articulate through that right foot. Place the weight in your left foot. Now, without moving your hips, without wobbling, can you lift that right leg to tabletop? Check here, are your hips square? Are you sinking to one side? Just try and correct that. And then exhale, lift it. Just tapping, lifting and lowering. Now, this left glute is working hard. It's helping to stabilize. Okay, it's in an isometric hold. On your next one, you're going to keep that leg lifted, extend it on a diagonal, bend it back in. As you extend, notice, are you maybe sinking or dipping one hip to the side? Try and maintain square hips. Draw in that belly button, draw in that core. Okay. Last two. Last one. Bend it in, take that foot down, lower everything down. Just take a little rest, hug the knees in towards the chest. Are you still there? Stay with me. If you are enjoying this video, please give it a like. It really supports my channel, and we're going to go straight into the other side. So lifting up into a glute bridge. Articulate through that left foot, lifting it up to tabletop. Feel the hips here. Are they square? And then you're going to lower, lift. How are your glutes feeling? Leave me a comment below. Let me know. Are your glutes on fire? Okay, exhale as you lift it up. Make sure there's no sinking, no dipping in the hips. Lifting and lowering. Okay. On your next one, you're going to lift it and you're going to extend to that diagonal, bend it back in. Exhale. Draw in that core, draw in that belly button. This is working the core as well, deep core muscles. And it's also helping you to stabilize. You know, on that glute max on the right side. Isometric hold. Let's go for another two. One. Bend it in. Lower that foot down. Woo, lower everything down, hug the knees in towards the chest. Just taking a little bit of a release. Okay. And then you can come up. We're going to come into a kneeling position. So I'm going to start on my right leg. I'm going to take my right leg forward. If you need to hold onto the wall, you can. So the knee is directly over the ankle. Tuck the back toes under. We're coming into our lunge series. And just square off the hips here. So what I want you to think about is drawing the inner thighs together, lifting up through the core. It's going to help you to stabilize. Okay, so when you're ready, you can clasp your hands in front of you. You can be on your hips, wherever feels comfortable. Draw the inner thighs together as you lift up to a hover. So now you're using that right glute. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift and squeeze. Just a little lift. So we're just hovering that knee off the mat. Exhale, lift and squeeze. On your next one, you're going to come up into your hover. Stay in this low lunge as you shift forward, extending that back leg long. So you're still in that low lunge, you're just extending that back leg. Come back to your hover, stay in your hover, and then you're going to shift forward, pick up that back foot, come into a kick. Lowering it down, coming back to your hover. Now we're going to pick up the pace. So we're going to exhale, shift forward, kick, descend slowly, coming back into hover. So work on the acceleration and the deceleration. Woo! I want you to try not to kick your plant if you have one. Okay. Exhale. Work on that acceleration, the deceleration. Woo! Keep your balance, core connection. Let's go for one more. Take it down to your hover. Everything comes down. And then we're going to go into the other side. I'm going to turn around so I'm not kicking my plant. Okay, left foot forward. Right toes tucked under. Draw the inner thighs together as you lift up to your hover. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Do any adjustments that you need. Exhale, lift to the hover. Can you shift back in space a little bit? Lowering it down. Quads are on fire. To the hover. Lowering down. Okay, perfect. Now you're going to lift up to your hover. Shift forward, extending that back leg. Inhale, hover. Exhale, lift, kick. Lowering it back down. Accelerate. Decelerate slowly. Find that hover. Kicking it back. Are your legs and glutes on fire? Because if they're not on fire yet, then I don't know, you must be doing it wrong. Leave me a like if your legs are on fire. Okay. Last one, kick it back, decelerate, hover, take the knee down, take the other knee down. Okay, I'm just going to move this part a little bit. Okay, we're now going to come into the last section of class, into a side kneeling position. So you're kneeling on your mat. You're going to extend, let's start by extending the right leg. Make sure it's in line with the hip. Take that hand down, find the floor. Make sure that your foot is in line with the knee. Open up the chest. Everything is one line. You're between two panes of glass. Draw in that core as you lift that leg. This is a very difficult position to be in. We're working the glutes really hard. We're working the core. And we're going to challenge the core a bit more, and the glutes, and our mobility. Your neck is in line with the rest of your spine. Okay. You can take your hand behind your head. Next one, hold it up. Flex, take it forward. So that leg is now distal from your body. Your core switch on, working harder. Point, take it back into hip extension. So this is what we were doing when we were on the mat. We're now just making it a little bit more challenging by being in the side kneeling position. Last one. You're not going to be here for long. Take it down. Lifting back up. Woo. Okay, bend that leg. Let's go into the other side. Finishing off class strong, like we always do. Take that hand down, extend that leg long. Make sure your body is between 2 panes of glass. You're opening up that chest. Take the hand behind your head, push the floor away, lifting up, exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Draw that core in, that belly button to spine. Looking straight ahead or looking slightly down, whatever feels more comfortable for your neck. Let's go for another 2. Last one. Hold it here. Flex, take it forward. Point, take it back. It's okay if you can't get too far forward. You can work on that hip mobility as you go along. I just want you to try and keep the rest of your body still, just moving that femur inside the hip joint. Perfect. Bend it in, take it down. Oh, release. You can take your weights off, or you can try to. There we go. Okay. Okay, weights are off. I want you to bring the right leg over the left, lifting up, pressing your pelvis, your sit bones into the mat, lifting up, extending the spine, and then you're going to twist towards the right, feeling a nice stretch in the glute. Taking a nice stretch, breathing in, out, calming your nervous system down. After today's class, release that. Let's do the other side. Lifting up and then twisting towards the left. Should feel a nice stretch here. Okay, releasing that. And that's it for today's class, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this one using the ankle weights. I love adding props into my classes. It just makes it more dynamic and adds an extra element. But please don't forget to subscribe down below so that you never miss out on a workout from me. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.